Welcome back to another video where I show you what I eat in a day for the week. As always, these videos run from the first meal I have on Sunday, which is typically lunch, up until the last meal I have on Friday, which is dinner, right before this video will go live. And these are kind of companion videos to my Sunday prep day videos where I prep for the week. So if you're curious where some of these things come from, like the tzatziki I'm using now, check out that video, that'll be linked at the end. So yeah, I'll be showing you everything I eat that is lunch and dinner, not usually breakfast because I don't really eat breakfast. I'm not just not a breakfast person. And I will show snacks. The only thing I don't show is fruit. I usually have 2 portions of fruit a day. And for this week, I just have a bunch of peaches and apples. And I'm just not going to show you the same thing every single time. But other snacks I will show you. And I also don't usually show what I drink because that is normally water, sugar-free syrup, or tea without sugar, that kind of stuff. But if I have something with non-negligible calories, I will include that. So yeah, without further ado, let's get the close-up of lunch on Sunday done. Here we go. First meal for this video, lunch for Sunday, some whole wheat rolls with some homemade tzatziki sauce, some chicken breast, and some spring mix. And I forgot to mention, I'm diabetic, I have to cut some carbs, so I don't usually have carbs for for lunch, except on the weekends when I have my cheat days. So the rest of the lunches you'll see will be low carb. And while I edit this week's Sunday prep day video, I'm gonna have my bar of chocolate. Let's go make some dinner for Sunday. So I preheated my little griddle thing. So I'm gonna throw on some pita, warm those through, and hopefully get some nice little grill marks on them. That looks very nice indeed, and they are hot, so that's why I'm juggling them. Next thing to go on, if you watched my Sunday prep day video, you saw me marinate some chicken. I just put that on a skewer with some peppers, and I'm just gonna put that on. So if you want to see how I made that marinade, you can check out my Sunday prep day video. And I'm just going to cut my pita into quarters, just so it's easier to plate. And to go with this bowl, I have a couple of things. I'll have a little bit of salad, just some spring mix, and I have a bunch of different pickles. So I have some pepperoni, or in America you call them pepperoncini. So I'll put some of those on. I have some pickled red cabbage. I'll get some of that. Some pickled carrot. And some homemade pickled onions. And you know what, I have a couple of these sliced pickled cucumbers left, so I'll just cut those into smaller pieces, and I'll put those on as well. And I have left a little bit of space for some homemade tzatziki sauce, so I'll put that in the corner over here. And I'll top that with my chicken. And that is dinner for Sunday, some Greek-style chicken skewers with pita bread, homemade tzatziki sauce, and an assortment of pickles. For lunch on Meatless Monday, I'm having a salad, so that's just some spring mix with some red peppers, some cucumber, and I'm having some hard-boiled eggs for some protein. And I just topped that with some spring onions since I had some, and on top of the eggs I put some red pepper flakes, and no dressing because I just don't like dressing. For a snack, I'm having some pistachios. Make some dinner for Meatless Monday. So I started off by preheating my Ninja Foodi on air fry. I just have some store-bought falafel here I'm gonna put in, and I'm going to give that a couple of minutes. And in the meantime, I just have some whole wheat couscous. You can use regular couscous, I just prefer using whole wheat as much as I can. I just steep that in some boiling water and a crumbled up stock cube, vegetable stock cube. So I'm just going to transfer that to this bigger bowl. And then I'm going to add a whole bunch of diced cucumber. And you could absolutely use tomato, that would be more traditional, but I don't like raw tomato that much, so I'm going to use diced up peppers, and I have a couple of different colors here. I'm just gonna mix in a nice healthy amount. Also, since I have some, I'll add some spring onions. It's a little oniony but not overpowering like you would with the regular raw onion. And then here I have a whole bunch of parsley that I'm going to put in. Just keep a couple of bits to throw on top for a garnish. And I'm just going to mix that up. And that is the couscous salad part. And to the surprise of absolutely no one, because I've been super into pickles lately, I'm just going to add some different kinds of pickles on the side here, just for some extra color and some extra vegetables. And that is the falafel done, so I'm just going to add that on top. And I'll top that with some of my homemade tzatziki. By the way, if I wasn't using a bunch of pickles, I would probably add some lemon or lime juice to my couscous salad, but there should already be enough acidity in there. And then just the last little bits of parsley, just to make everything look pretty. And that is dinner for Meatless Monday, couscous salad with falafel, tzatziki, and some pickles. Let's make some lunch for Tuesday. So I preheated my Ninja Foodi on grill, the highest it goes, 240C. And I'm just gonna add my sausages, and that can go for 10 minutes. And right here I just have a pan with a splash of water just to act as a medium to conduct the heat through the spinach. And I'm just gonna add a big bunch of spinach to wilt down. And yes, that pot is kind of overstuffed right now, but it will cook down pretty quick. So I'm just gonna add some salt, and I'll put a lid on and I'll let that wilt down. Now the spinach is done, I just quickly drained it. And now I'm gonna add a nice spoonful of chili crisp for some flavor, but also for some color contrast and some texture. So I'll just mix that in. The red will look nice with the otherwise very green blob. And my sausages are done, so I'll add those. And then partly to counteract the spiciness from the chili crisp, but mostly because I still have some left over, I'm gonna add some tzatziki for my sausages. And that is a low carb lunch for Tuesday, some grilled sausages with some tzatziki and some spinach with chili crisp. For a snack, I'm having some hard-boiled eggs. Let's make some dinner for Taco Tuesday. So I have my Ninja Foodi preheating on bake. You could use the oven, but this is just a lot easier. It's smaller, so it doesn't generate as much heat, and I only need to do some taco shells anyway. But yeah, for the filling for my taco, I have some sausage meat that I just took out of its casing, and I'm just putting that in a hot pan with a bit of oil. And this is some Catalan spiced sausage. So I'm just gonna break that down and get a little bit of color on it. And now that that meat has browned, I'm just gonna scoop it out and just set it aside. And now I'm gonna add some onion. So I'm just leaving all the fat and the drippings from the pork sausage in there. I'll add some chilies. These are jalapenos, de-seeded. Some peppers. And here I have some garlic. And I turned the heat down. I'm just going to let this saute for a few minutes until everything is soft. And I'll add a bit of salt too to help everything cook down. Now that the vegetables have softened, I'm going to add some tomato product. I had a bunch of fresh tomatoes that I needed to use up, so instead of a can of tomato paste or something, I just took some fresh tomatoes and just blended them. So those do need to cook down a bit, so I'll give that a few minutes. I'll also add a bit of cumin. And now that all the vegetables and tomatoes have cooked down, I'm going to add my sausage meat back in, and I'm going to spoon this mixture into my taco shells. And I just garnished them with some sliced up spring onions since I had them, and I don't have sour cream on hand, so I'm just having them with some Greek yogurt. But that is dinner for Taco Tuesday, some pork sausage tacos. For lunch on Wednesday, I'm having some cauliflower mash / some salted boiling water. I'll add my cauliflower, and I'm also preheating my Ninja Foodi to grill some sausages just like I did yesterday. So I'm just gonna let this cook, and then I'll mash that up. Okay, the sausages are done, so I just took those out of my Ninja Foodi, and my cauliflower is done. I just drained that. So now we just mash. And while I was waiting for the cauliflower and the sausages, I also cut up some cheese. I'll dump that in and mix that in. And the heat from the cauliflower will make that melt. Top that with some red pepper flakes. And that is lunch for Wednesday, some cauliflower mash with sausages. For a snack, I'm having some cashews. Okay, let's make some dinner for Wednesday. I have a frying pan on the heat with a little bit of oil, and I just diced up some chicken. So I'm just going to cook that off. And while that's cooking, I'm just going to make some rice. I'm just going to make that in the microwave. I am going to make a double batch, because tomorrow I want some fried rice, so I'm going to make enough for that. And now that the chicken has a nice golden brown color, I'm just going to let this rest in my bowl. And I'll work on some veggies. So I have some carrot and some snow peas. Add a bit of salt, and I'll just cook those through. And now these are cooked through, I'm going to add these to my bowl as well. And I'll quickly fry an egg. The rice is ready, so I'll add one portion in here as well. The rest I'm just going to let cool down, and that's for my fried rice tomorrow. Then my chicken I'm going to season with some Korean barbecue sauce. I'll season everything with this bowl topping seasoning mix. It has like black sesame seeds, ginger, garlic, chilies, all that kind of stuff. So I'll use that for flavoring on my rice and my vegetables. I was going to add some pickles, but I have so much on here already, it's not going to fit, so no pickles this time. And then I'll top it with my egg, sunny side up, runny yolk, and I'll season that as well. And I'll put some sesame seeds on top too, just for looks. And that is dinner for Wednesday. A rice bowl with chicken, Korean barbecue sauce, snow peas, carrots, and a fried egg. Let's make some lunch for Thursday. So here I have a pan on the heat with a little bit of oil. I'm gonna add some chilies, mostly orange for color. And I'm also gonna add some garlic. And I'll just give that a minute to cook down. And meanwhile, I preheated my Ninja Foodi, and I'm just going to put some sausages in. And these are the Catalan flavored sausages that I used the other day as well, but then I took them out of their casing, and now I'm just going to put them in whole and just use the grill function on my Ninja Foodi. And while that is softening, I'm going to add my marinade for tonight. So here I have some ginger, I have some garlic, and some soy sauce. And here I have some chicken that I diced up. So I'm just gonna put that right in, give that a good mix. And that can marinate in the fridge for tonight. Now that my garlic and chilies have softened, I'm just gonna add some frozen peas. And I'll add some salt. And that can just warm through. Top with some red pepper flakes for color. And that is lunch for Thursday, some sausages with peas. For a snack, I'm having some more of those pistachios. All right, let's make some dinner for Wednesday. So earlier you saw me marinate some chicken. I'm just gonna put that in a wok. I just have a little bit of oil in that pan. I also have a little bit of oil in this pan, and I'll add my green beans, and I'll add some sambal ulek. If you don't know what that is, it's basically a chili paste. It's a condiment from Indonesia, and that is made with ground up chilies, some salt. So on a low-ish heat, I'll just let that cook through. And then here I have some water, You can use milk as well, but I like using water, and I'll add some all-natural peanut butter. And that will become my peanut sauce. So to this I'll also add a splash of soy sauce, some ground ginger, some ground coriander, and some garlic powder. So my peanut sauce, I'll add some water if needed, but I'll just let that come up to temperature on a low heat. And let all that peanut butter just melt into the water and the spices. Then my green beans, I'll add a little bit of water to help them cook. And not too much, because I want all that water to evaporate eventually. And then my chicken, I just want to get some color on that, just cook that through. And now that my chicken is cooked, I'll just remove that and put that in my bowl. I'll give the pan a quick wipe, add a little bit of oil again, and I'll get my vegetables in. So here I have some carrot, some onion, some peppers, some ginger, chilies, and some garlic. Give that a few minutes to cook down, and then I'll add my spring onions. These are quite delicate, so I don't want to overcook, so I'll add them a little later than the rest. I'll add some cooked rice and break that down a bit, and I'll also add a bit of soy sauce, and that can go in my bowl as well. I'll add my spicy green beans, and I'm just quickly going to fry an egg. And while that fries, I'm going to grab some of this acar campur, which is an Indonesian style pickle, and I'll put that on my bowl as well. Some of my peanut sauce can go over my rice and my chicken, and then top it with the fried egg. And I'll add just a little bit of chili flakes and some sesame seeds. And that is dinner for Thursday. Some fried rice with chicken, some peanut sauce, acar campur, and some spicy green beans. For lunch on Fish Friday, I'm having some salmon with some spinach. The spinach I made exactly the same as I did the other day. The salmon is just pan fried with some salt, pepper, and some chili flakes, and I'm just using up the last of my tzatziki sauce. For a snack, I'm having some herring. Let's make some dinner for Friday. So here I just have some noodles. I'm going to put in some boiling water, and that can just cook through. And then I have a pan with some oil. I'm going to add some chopped up salmon. And then I have one pan with a little bit of sesame oil. I'm going to add some frozen edamame. I'm going to add a little bit of salt and pepper to my salmon. My edamame, I'll add a little bit of soy sauce for some flavor, and some chili flakes. And while this cooks, I can start assembling my bowl. I'm going to add some pickles. So just a few different kinds. I have some red cabbage, I have some pepperoncini, I have some carrot, I have some pickled onions, so I'll just add a couple. And I'll add my salmon to the bowl as well. And I'll just quickly fry an egg. My noodles are done, so I'll add those to my bowl as well. I'll add my edamame, my fried egg, and I'll top this with some gochujang sauce. Some of that bowl topping you saw me use the other day, and some sesame seeds. And that is everything I ate this week. And if you like this kind of content, I do this about once a month, where I show you a whole week of everything I eat in a day. And if you want to see more, you can also check out my Instagram, which is linked below. I post every single meal there. So, and if you'd like to see how I prepped all the things that you saw me use this week, you can check out my Sunday prep day video, which I'll link at the end here. And I do those videos every single Sunday. So if that all sounds good to you, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and thank you for watching. Until next time, bye for now.